welcome once again to Clinical Theurgy, episode 9. Ryan is apparently getting heavily into character, snorting something off of his desk.
Doing some ASMR.
Who remembers where we left off last week?
Well, let's see. We had wrapped up the case, done our debriefing. Basically, we're all getting kind of like promoted, at least. And we'll be changing
our certifications.
Yeah, and Elizabeth is going to be a knight, and there's going to be like a ceremony or something like that we're going to, and our new boss is going to be among those that are there.
Going up in the world.
Yes, and
Still don't know who that is, by the way. They wouldn't give us any information.
Nope.
yeah, they're
We get to
waiting
find
until
out more about the spooky stuff happening.
They're waiting until we're like officially promoted, all the paperwork's through before they're giving us any more information.
And we did like the full everyone official debriefing with Maha, which is where we learned most of that. I'm still going to dinner with her and her wife. At
Maybe
some
they want to
point.
climb the mountain.
I don't think it'd be so much of a climb for them. They're not short like goblins.
Well, you don't know anything about her wife, so.
True, I don't know anything about her wife.
Yeah, maybe she's a dwarf.
Could be.
Make sure to compliment her beard. I hear they like that.
They do.
Actually, you guys know, from the descriptions at least, that I posted in the notes.
Yeah, I just didn't
what
know if
two
we
of
would
them
know
look
that
like.
in
There were
character.
more of them I was supposed to add, but I'm very disappointed I forgot. So, well, I didn't forget. I've been really, really overworked this week, and the only thing I've been able to do is brain dead myself in Path of Exile and make stupid comments while other people are in the same Discord. So, but yeah. That's basically kind of the gist of what happened last session. More of kind of a wrap-up than it was anything else. But you all cordially get your invitation. You are each allowed to bring one guest as long as you pre-register the guest. So you have to put down your guest, the name of the guest. They are checked to make sure they are safe to be in attendance, and then they are allowed entry with you. You must come at the same time. Your guest cannot arrive late. Your guest cannot arrive early. You both have to be there at the same time. And you are responsible for your guest's behavior. This is especially important to you, Elizabeth. If you were to bring a guest, it is your duty to make sure that when you step away for your coronation, that your guest is not going to misbehave or hoot and holler or make some kind of.
I don't think there's anyone I would bring anyway, so.
Yeah, Gulran already has an invite, so. And that's separate from that, so you don't have to worry about that.
You could invite.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. I'm not trying to encourage the mountain climber.
You don't need to. He'll encourage himself.
Phrasing?
It was phrased exactly the way I meant for it to be phrased.
Yeah, that he will.
Oh, okay.
Alright, is anybody else going to bring a guest?
Oh, I don't think I know anybody else.
So this is just for her coronation thing, right?
This is for her coronation and you to meet the people that you're going to be working with in the future.
Okay. I think I would invite Morin McNeil.
Okay.
If he wants to come.
That is your priestly friend, correct?
Yes, head of the clergy.
Don't you dare invite Taron, okay?
Oh.
Morin will happily attend. He's proud to see what you've accomplished and to find out that your friend is joining the Knights. This would be my honor.
The person I know.
It would be great to have you there.
Thank you.
Brianna wants to invite Tehran.
Okay. Brianna can invite Tehran. He will... How does he treat this?
He's like, girl, we're done. Sorry.
Oh, I should invite Nico.
Aw.
Okay.
That'll go well, right?
So you go over to invite Tehran. Oh, you're here. Hello.
Hi there. It's good to see you again.
It's nice to see you as well. I'm confused. I thought now that I solved your case for you, we probably would be on less positive terms. It sounds like everything's come into place for you, effectively. I'm not used to these sorts of things having people come back.
Oh, well, I mean, you're one of the first real friends I've made here, so I don't know. But I actually was just wondering if maybe you'd want to come to the coronation of my friend Elizabeth. Like,
He looks a bit shocked. Me. You know they hate me, right?
I mean, I don't know. I just figured that it would be something fun.
Oh, I could most assuredly make it fun.
I mean, you don't want to go too overboard, but
I want to go overboard. I want to go too overboard.
Well, sorry to hear about your knighthood.
I accept.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm as well. I think it'll be quite fun. Are you free for a bit?
Sure.
Okay. All right. He will join you. And I almost called you Cassius. Is Antaeus bringing anyone? Well, you said Nico as well, so I was like, all your character names like flooded.
Right. Every time somebody says Nico, I'm like, wait a minute, didn't he? Never mind, wrong game. And plus it's a C, so
yes.
I mean, not that changes how it's pronounced at all, but I don't think that I know anybody else.
I mean,
really.
you have some like people who buy from you periodically that you could invite.
Yeah, but are any of them?
I mean, it really depends on how much you want to goad Elizabeth.
Well, the real question is like, from the very little I know, would it be customary to bring somebody to these kinds of things, like, or would it be?
It's a little bit of both. Like it sort of depends on your comfort level, and like how much you think this is going to be enjoyable without someone there as support.
I guess more so for like making relationships with people, like business relationships and that sort of thing. Would it be better to go stag for something like this?
This actually is almost its own business-making opportunity for you, though, right? Because this is now a slot that you have where someone else could come in and they could make their own additional business opportunities.
Yeah, but do I know any people
facilitating that for them? Maybe somebody who happens to work within like a certain area of town that could use better connections to investigators to help keep them off their back and make sure that they're like, make sure that the knights are a little less asinine and the investigators are always looking a little less in their specific direction.
Do I know anybody that doesn't have a certain reputation that I don't think would cause any problems here?
Well, it depends on what you mean by wouldn't cause any problems. If you mean somebody who would just be an upstanding person while they're there, I mean, you definitely know someone who would be an upstanding person while they're there, who would see a lot of opportunity in this and probably be willing to compensate you for such an opportunity.
Interesting. How much of a how much would they adhere to these guidelines that we've been given as far as our guests go?
Well, that depends on whether you want to go speak with them or not.
Yeah, I'll go speak with them.
Okay.
This will be interesting.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Probably.
No, you tell me. I want to make sure before.
I actually don't know.
Okay. I am speaking of the goblin.
Ah, yes.
So you head over there knowing that he's a relatively well put together kind of guy, who is always looking for a good business opportunity, is well spoken. He's actively cooperated with the knights and the ministry before.
And he's clean.
Yeah. I mean, clean in certain senses.
Well, he's not using right now.
So you can head over to speak with him, and he's in roughly his normal spot. He'll vary from area to area around there, but he's around the same zone.
Sounds good.
I feel like everyone's just trying to give me all the shit possible here.
This is not just
Frickin'
you. Imagine
Jared,
Ghoulron being
goblin.
there, and this goblin shows up that he loves so much.
God. This is gonna be a shit show.
I mean, if I get oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm going for maximum entertainment here. Okay.
I mean, if I get good with him, then I'll be in good with the goblins as well, because they're kind of a pack, right? At least to some degree.
Group, yeah. Hey,
yeah.
What are you doing here?
I did not sniff like that, just in case you were wondering. I didn't start off looking like a cokehead. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
My nose is dry.
You got the sniffles? That's how you sniffed instead.
I just love the smell of it. Oh, hi. I was wondering when is this? Is this like
This is like a couple of days before
Okay.
the event, because there has to be enough time for them to look into whomever you're assigning
Gotcha.
or inviting.
Oh, hi. I was wondering what you were doing in a couple of days.
This and that, here and there. There and where?
Those sound like phenomenal plans, but
They're not plans, but they're what I do. You know?
Well, that's good then, because I actually have this coronation I need to go to.
Oh, do you? What
Yes. For the knights.
Ooh, who do you know that's becoming a knight?
The tall one.
Oh, how lucky for her. She'll look
Yes.
quite good in that shining armor.
Of course. I thought that,
She
this
could
would be a good...
my knight anytime.
I mean, there are certain social guidelines that you would
Of course,
need to adhere by. But
I'm sure I'm not allowed to wander around and harass the help.
I think harassment in general is probably good thing to avoid. But I don't have anybody to go with, and I thought that I didn't have anybody to go with, and this is a good place to make acquaintances. And
It is a very good place to make acquaintances. If there is an opening and you don't have anybody filling it right now, perhaps there is a way that we could find someone to fill it. Perhaps a few faces that would be willing to offer up a suggestion. And he reaches into his vest and starts to run a few platinums over his fingers.
Yes. I mean, I don't see why that would be an issue.
Very good, very good. Well, I have some recommendations. I'm sure that these, and he holds out his hand, will vouch well for me. He hands you 5 platinum.
All right, I will gladly accept 5 platinum. Yeah. That'll help me pay for my drugs.
I will dress as well as I can.
Fantastic.
And when should I be meeting you? This is in the evening. Oh, actually, you showed him the invitation.
Yeah, I'll show him the invitation. I don't know if he wants to meet up somewhere shortly beforehand, or if he just wants to meet there, because we have to kind of show up at the same time. So
yes, we should probably meet up. Let's say a block away, about here, and he'll give you like a relative location.
Fantastic. Do I have to bring his name to the
You would, yeah. He'll write his name down, and then you'd bring the document back to a specific spot, and then or back to the ministry, and the ministry will process that invitation.
Excellent. I will see you then.
Neither of your none of the three of you's invitations will be revoked. Elizabeth, are you inviting anyone? Maybe your parents?
I would assume that my parents would already
They'll be in attendance.
Yeah, so my thought process
they
is
paid
it's
quite dearly.
Nope, you're allowed to invite one of them.
Invite one parent, but they're probably already have invitations since they basically paid for this to happen. And it's Maha's cool and nice. I invite her, but I'm sure she already has invitation to go, and there's just no one really else that she would invite. So it's kind of
okay.
Everyone I would think of inviting is already coming. So
all of your best friends are already going to be there.
And I feel like it would just be very in character for Elizabeth just to be I'm going to my coronation by myself. I'm not inviting anyone. Just taking myself.
Okay. That makes sense. Then let me see if I can. Okay, so what I need to know from everyone is, are you an early, on time, or late arrival?
I would be early.
Okay, Tehran will make you late.
Damn.
I would be showing up to the designated spot a few minutes beforehand just to make sure that I've got everything in order.
Okay.
Definitely early.
Okay.
I think on time for Bulan.
Okay. So yeah, Tehran takes a lot of extra time getting himself ready, and then getting distracted, and then getting himself ready again, and then the two of you can make your way. So I think first then to arrive is probably going to be Elizabeth.
Should hope so.
You are one of the very first, aside from people who are there doing the setup and a few other people that always arrive extra early just in case there's an emergency or any other problems. This is a very large venue. It looks like at one point it probably stood as some large main palace room, that kind of ballroom that you would typically see connected to a large palace. This seems like somebody's kind of carved it out, or maybe something's kind of left it behind. It has a bit of a rustic feel to it. Large stone walls that head 20 feet to the sky, a painted ceiling, with there are a series of tables and some other things, a large stage towards the back of the room, very large, it kind of wraps around the back wall. There are musicians across the stage, with a few people kind of walking about the stage periodically, looking over some documents or testing some of the equipment that is up there. They have a few of these poles that are up there that take in your voice, and you would know these things to work like microphones do, but they use ghost sound to do it. Basically, whatever you input into them, there are ghost sound points around the room that will echo the sound. That's how the band is able to... Normally, this band could probably fill this room with music if they had to play, but they'd have to play quite heavy. They can play softly, and the room is filled with the music around them. There are various people dressed very well, moving from place to place, carrying trays of food and drinks, and even arriving as early as you have. There's still a good number of people inside already, including Maha and her wife, who immediately spot you as you come in, as if they've kind of been waiting for you. And Maha will make her way straight to you. You're early. I was not expecting that. I guess I
You
should
weren't?
have, though, right?
I mean, have I ever been late to anything?
No, but this is a little different. This is special for you. And I thought maybe you would take extra time for yourself. Have you been taking any time for yourself? I'm sorry. I am being a terrible partner. Elizabeth, this is Kate. Kate, this is Elizabeth.
Nice to meet you, Kate.
She reaches a hand up to take your hand. It is nice to meet you too. She's talked quite well of you.
Oh. Well, that's good. Good things are good.
Mm-hmm. Good things are good. Have you been doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, just the same. Doing fine, just trying to stay busy as normal.
That sounds like a raptor problem. You know that life isn't just about staying busy, right?
Yes, but I personally find life more enjoyable when I stay busy.
As somebody goes walking by with a platter of drinks, Kate kind of reaches up and snags one, and it puts it near where your hand might reach out to if you wanted to take it. While Maha kind of stands there and just kind of thinks silently and looks over at the door for a moment, and then back to you.
I guess I'll are you? Did you want?
Oh, I'm
me to
sorry.
take that
Kate
drink?
will take the drink and start drinking it. If after enough time you don't take the drink.
I'm just standing there so confused, what's happening? I don't know.
Let me show you around. I'll introduce you to a few people that I've worked with over the years.
Sounds good.
After a little while, you'll get kind of walked around and introduced to some of the people that are somewhat close to Maha. You'll exchange a few polite stories, and around that time will come the arrival of Gul'ran alongside Morin McNeil.
Hell yeah.
The two of you walked in. Morin is dressed in his most decorative clerical vestments. For a function like this, he feels it is most appropriate to represent the church and be there to sort of bless the whole ordeal.
I don't know if Gul'ran has nice clothes, does he?
Morin will offer you your own set of clerical robes, as you're now eligible to wear them officially. So he will pull out a set of robes that are that have little gold rimming along them, and they are clean, and they can be color toned to any variation of color that you would like. His are currently a sort of powder blue.
My thing's colorized, right? I'd want to look like my whatever colors I picked for Gul'ran.
Okay.
I don't remember what they are though.
You have Gul'ran is red.
Really?
That's what I have on your overlay,
Okay, yeah.
which is what I was using to... Oh, no, I'm sorry, you have brown.
Cams.
I have your
are...
images background.
Yeah,
incorrect.
our cams are in the wrong
Cams are
spot.
way
Gul'ran
screwed up.
looks like brown orangish.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had crimson for Arvo, so I just
Yes.
didn't think I picked the same one.
Nope, I've got people in the wrong order. That's on me.
I'm Brianna.
Gosh.
Oh gosh.
There's a snake in my boots.
There we go. People's cams are in the right place now.
I guess that means
Yeah.
that you have to sleep with Turon.
No. Not happening.
Yeah, we're dressed in our nicest robes, and we approach.
They will check your names off the list, and each of them will kind of give you a slight bow, like a little nod of the head and a slight lowering of the at the waist, as is kind of customary to members of the clergy that enter upon these sort of ceremonies. The blessing of Shishat be upon you both.
You as well.
Inside, people are starting to arrive, so it's a pretty noisy affair. I think, Elizabeth, what is your character's height? You're like kind of shortish, right? 5'7"?
No, I think I'm like 5 foot. Oh, 5'8", so I guess not like super
Okay,
tall.
so you don't stick out heavily.
No.
If you're looking for Elizabeth, you can probably manage to track her down after a little bit. But Moirin will kind of make his way almost immediately to a couple of snack trays.
Nice. Priorities.
Yep, gotta have them.
I don't know what the expectation is. Are we supposed to like stick together, or once we're in, we're kind of like do our own thing?
If you trust the person that you brought with you to kind of do the right thing, then yeah, you can kind of do your own thing if you choose to.
Yeah, I think if the head of Theurgy is going to make a bad name for himself, no one's. So yeah, I'll try and find like the rest of if all the group is assembled somewhere, or just Elizabeth if no one else is around.
Yeah, Moirin's going to spend a lot of his time like hunting down his favorite snacks.
He's like, yeah, free food, I'm in.
Do I know like what does he serve Shishat? Do I know this, or do I know who he?
Yeah, you are part of a Temple of Shishat, correct?
Okay, yeah, but I didn't know if there was like he served like a general at the head of the whole thing.
No, you are both part of the Temple of Shishat. He is he is presidingly for this locale, the High Cleric of Shishat.
Ah, okay. Sweet.
Or the High Cleric, the head of the clergy for Shishat. Yeah, so you track down Elizabeth. She is there with Maha, and Maha will introduce you to Kate.
Hello.
For description's sake, I realize that people watching don't have this. Kate is about 3'5". She is rather different in appearance. She has like kind of darkish, kind of softish mahogany hair. And it's tied back in this very long, tight braid. She has a bit of a like serious look on her face, a rather stern look about her. But during the introductions, you notice that her face kind of like warms up, and her smile is like rather bright and wide. She's never like moved as you've been wandering around with her, Elizabeth. She's never really moved terribly far from Maha. They're always kind of at close quarters with each other. And Kate's stature is a bit different. She's almost like is wide in the shoulders as she is like tall from foot to neck. She greets you, happy to meet yet another one of Maha's graduates of sorts.
Pleasure's all mine.
How are you officially cleric now? Are you looking to practice?
Newly minted.
How does it feel?
Well, I've always considered myself more of an official cleric of sorts. The title's just more a formality, I feel. So not much different. But it is good to feel recognized by the masses as what I identify as myself.
If what Maha says is true, I think you'll do quite well for yourself.
Thank you.
At about this point, Antaeus will arrive with his goblin
Oh God!
partner in tow.
Gulron scowls.
So
immediately.
your goblin, the goblin is dressed exceptionally well. He has on this like black vest, wearing this like long white undershirt that he's got kind of is it lapel? The pin? Yeah,
like the cufflinks.
Cufflinks. Thank you.
Oh yeah, because the lapel is like
yeah,
here,
it's
right?
up there. That's why I knew I was wrong. My brain would not like correct myself. His hair is kind of slicked back in this very like unusual way because it looks more greasy slicked back than it did before.
Fucking Guido.
And he's got these like very, very heavily shined shoes.
That actually reminds me. How much would it cost to get a decent suit?
For something nice, you're probably looking at really depends on like what level of nice you're going for. Because this goes back to the like what you pay is kind of what response you're getting out of it. So if we look at outfit, hold on.
Not quite a Royals outfit because that's ridiculous.
What was that sound?
I could use my writ for a suit, right? The ministry will get it back when I'm done.
So yeah, a Royals outfit would be in the realm of like 200 gold. You could get like a courtier's outfit for around 30, which would probably be like a moderately priced suit.
And that would be something that would be like that would fit in here, maybe.
Yeah, you'd probably be a touch above what the expectation would be.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a nice one of those.
Okay. So when you show up, then he'll make a comment of, "Oh, you're trying to show me up, huh?"
No, that was not intentional. I just thought that it would be good to invest the money.
Was it not intentional? I don't think it wasn't intentional.
It wasn't.
Come on. Not to show me up, but to maybe show
that we're. Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, there we go. Let's be real with each other. It's a good thing for business partners to do, right? Be quite honest with each other. Yes.
Of course.
Exactly.
My intention wasn't to show you up specifically. No, my intention was to look better than most.
Well, you've done well. You've done quite well.
I forgot what color I picked. But
your color looks like either gray or black.
Fantastic. Well, let me see. Black is too traditional.
You could go with one of my favorites that I still don't own because I'm waiting for the right amount of money to do it. Gunmetal.
Gunmetal? Oh, gunmetal gray?
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite. Oh, I want my gunmetal suit so bad.
I mean, I like the gunmetal color, but I think what I'll do is I'll get like a royal blue suit.
Okay.
Something dark, very dark. Then I'll have like I guess what kind of undershirt would that? Would a white undershirt work with that? Yeah, I think so.
You could pull off a white undershirt.
Or would black be more appropriate?
No,
I'm going to ask whoever the tailor is
for this kind of event. You're really calling my brain into question here because I did not realize I was going to have to use my color complementation, not a yellow cloak. Tom, of course. I don't know. I lean towards like softer grays with blue, or like going lighter shades of blue.
Because I was thinking about getting like because the trim like to be more of like a gray or silver kind of color.
Okay.
And then I'll probably like the undershirt the same.
Okay.
I guess. Maybe an extra tertiary color thrown in there so it's not two-tone.
Okay. Pocket square matching the shirt or different color?
Yes, matching the shirt.
Okay. right.
And it'll have like a little design that's in the tertiary color.
Okay. All right. So the two of you will make your way in. The person checking the names off will look down at the two of you as you give your names.
It's rude.
And he will look a bit confused. You're sure this is what is with your hand?
I'm giving him the invitation. Is that what we're supposed to do?
No, you've already handed over the invitation.
Oh, okay.
You just give him the name, and he checks off your name and his name. But in this case, he's a little bit confused to see the little goblin standing there beside you, but he still checks it off anyway. But he's kind of giving a bit of the side eye as you guys pass by.
Is he a knight?
You can only assume so. It's a little hard to tell because nobody's like dressed in knight attire except outside, and there's like a couple of knights stationed in the building, but they're like off to the corners of the room, kind of keeping an eye on things. Slightly elevated as well. There's like a couple of points where you can kind of step up, and there's little like heightened, not stools is not the word, but like pedestals that you can kind of stand on to look over things.
Gotcha.
So, where is she?
I don't know. I just got here as well.
I want to give her my congratulations.
I'm not sure where she's at. I've never really been to one of these things before.
Nor have I. This is my first. I must say that I hate it already.
It is a bit snobbish.
It is, right? Look they have like people walking around with trays, and of course they make sure they're tall so people like me have trouble reaching up to get at them. All I want is some of that cheese I've seen running around, and I think they've probably got smoked meats. I can smell it. But I'll bet the tallest person is running around with the smoked meats.
This gentleman over here seems to be well on top of all the foods.
You point over to Moirin, who is absolutely like, he has like a handful of stuff. He's like trying to see if he can finagle a tray away from one of the other people.
I think he would probably be the person to ask if you're looking for something specific.
He's a man of the faith. Perhaps I'm not well suited for talking to his type.
Not much of a man of the faith.
The gods tend to get in the way of things, you know?
I suppose. They serve their purpose.
At times, but best not to bother them and let them do their thing.
Agreed. It is a convenient way to keep people in line.
Ooh, can you grab that?
I'll grab what he's asking for.
He reaches over and takes it. Exactly as I thought. They keep the smoked meats with the tall ones. All right. I feel better now. I still hate it, but at least the food is good. So, are we doing this solo, or do you want to show me around and introduce me to people, or do you even know anybody here?
I know exactly 4 people here. I'm assuming Maha's going to be here.
Yes.
So even if without knowing that, I would assume that she'd probably be here. That would make sense.
Okay.
So I know 4 people here, not including us.
That's not a good sign. Well, you can use your height to your advantage, right?
I suppose. For what?
To find people you know.
I suppose I could see over some people. Sure.
I can't see over anyone. Do you know what I see down here?
How tall is he?
He is like about 2'11", 2'10".
Oh. You can't even see over Kate.
No. All I see down here are crotches or chests.
Some of which are better than others, I'm sure.
Both of them are quite nice at times. You wouldn't believe the smells.
I would not know. I don't.
He
No.
he chuckles as he says that.
I don't know if you have a preference as far as splitting up or staying here together.
Well, I'd like to find some way to get myself introduced to a few people, because I know not a lot of people, and without an introduction, I think they won't look kindly upon someone like me coming around and asking them questions, if they can even see me.
Especially not Golron.
No. I wish I had stilts or something here. Feel uncomfortable around all these giants. No offense to you, I mean.
No, of course not.
Alright, you guys can spend some time, and if you want, you can eventually track down Elizabeth, Gulran, and Maha.
Sure. Yeah, because I don't really know anybody here either, so I wouldn't be of any use to introducing him to anybody he doesn't already know, besides maybe Maha.
Okay. After a little while, Brianna and Tehran will arrive. Tehran is also dressed incredibly well. He has like an outfit he keeps for just such occasions. But he is dressed like, this outfit is like the wear-all of outfits. It is about as black as it can be. Black shirt, black coat, black tie, black pants, black shoes.
Sounds like my kind of outfit.
Brianna is actually going to spend the 30 gold to also get a courtesan's outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any colors? I don't know.
Oh yes, you can get. So it depends on what you want to do with it, but the world is your oyster when you're talking about courtesans outfit or courtiers outfits.
Yeah. Yeah, courtier. Two different things. Yes. I was thinking of maybe like sort of a silver color, you know, something like that that's neutral, but looks nice.
Okay.
Flashy. Neutral but flashy.
If there's sequins or sparkles involved, it would be great.
You can get it with either sequins or sparkles. And if you're willing to pay an extra 5 gold, they can make it actually sparkle for the evening.
I'll pay the extra 5 gold.
Okay. Your dress literally sparkles.
All right. Let's see. I'm taking that off my character sheet.
Okay.
All right. So, I guess, are we going up to the gate now and we're late?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll give them our names.
He will check you both off, and for a moment you see him give like kind of a the person checking off the names gives like a very stern look at Tehran, who just kind of smiles widely and makes his way in with you.
All right.
I imagine I'm going to be getting a lot of that tonight.
I have no doubt, but who knows? Maybe you'll meet some new contacts or something while you're here.
Perhaps. The first thing I'd like to meet, though, is one of those people with a drink. This is going to be rough, I'm sure.
I mean, I would too, but I'm a little bit at a disadvantage here.
There's a trick to this, you see. And he waits for a moment as he watches one of them go by, and he kind of like leaps up a little bit and does a bit of a twirl, grabbing a pair of the glasses between his fingers, and then lands, turning and extending one out to you, and keeping one in his own other hand.
I will take one and thank him.
You're welcome.
And
now, where do we begin? You know who I'd like to meet most?
who?
Someone who I otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's a rather big asshole, if I may be so polite. He goes by the name of...
Heaping, some might say.
Fuck are my notes? That's not his name. His name is not where the fuck are my notes. His name is Renier. Sorry, I need to make sure I pronounce his name in the most asinine way possible.
Pretentious.
Oh, he is... There aren't a lot of people that I can honestly say are things I wouldn't... I'm worried that other people overhear some of my words, but I would rather see him die than a lot of things, quite honestly. If he were at the edge of a cliff, I wouldn't quite push, but I also wouldn't stop myself from falling into a cart that would roll in his direction.
Well, it sounds like that you definitely need to meet him.
Oh, I certainly do.
What did he do to you to make you dislike him so?
Oh, do you know why the Ministry is the shitstorm that it happens to be?
I had no idea.
Oh, he is literally the reason. He is the Ministry's director. He takes it upon himself on a regular basis to steal away assignments for people he loves most, or people he just happens to be spending a little extra time with on the side.
I see.
Yes. He doesn't quite know that I see.
Well, we can always mingle.
Thank you. I promise it will be fun.
I have no doubt.
All right. So you and Tehran will head off that way. And Antaeus and what was the goblin's
I don't
name?
think you ever gave me his name.
Goblin number 1.
This is the best goblin.
First name V, last name Goblin.
No, I thought I had a name for him, but this
First
is where
name
me not consolidating my
Mountain,
notes is
last
being a
name
real problem.
If you did, you may have mentioned it in a previous session, but I don't think that this session you specifically mentioned it. And I'm not going to be able to remember names.
No, I think
I'm looking over my
I think
notes.
there's a possibility I may not have.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a name for this
Yeah,
goblin.
let me give him a name.
Renee.
Ranier.
Le Mountain Fucker.
That's what he wants to do.
But it's the whole name. It's like Le Mountain Fucker. That's his name.
Very elegant.
Crack
Yeah,
myself up.
Even in my notes from the previous, like when we were interrogating the goblins, I literally have him down as boss. So.
Yeah.
Boss.
He's the boss.
He is Zigmars.
Ziggy boy.
Oh, Ziggy boy. Sorry, wrong game.
Oh, man.
So you and Zigmars will make your way over to meet them. And Elizabeth, you will notice this pretty quickly as, it's not hard to see Antaeus. And as you notice Antaeus coming forward, you notice there's like a bit of a parting, like there's a figure walking around beside Antaeus. And as like the clearing gets just wide enough, you notice a familiar goblin face making his way
I feel
forward.
like
And
feel like
Gulran, you
Elizabeth-
do as well.
I feel like Elizabeth would be like fairly like I feel like her regular is like semi uncomfortable but kind of relaxed, but with like this air of always just being like just I don't know. But like as soon as I like see, I'm just like
Hooray, everybody's overjoyed.
As your like face kind of changes, you'll like hear a like bit of a clearing of the throat, and you'll like sense the feeling of like a hand almost kind of at your back, but asking for permission.
I'll turn around.
You'll see a hand there, and Kate will quickly pull her hand away, like rather uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you didn't understand I was trying to comfort you. My apologies.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what was happening. I'm a little distracted right now.
I noticed. How does Gulran feel as as Antaeus and this goblin approach?
So wait, I recognize him as the one who was like, he was the one who was talking to me that day, or no?
He looks very familiar. You could also be that kind of dwarven style racist where all goblins look the same.
I think
leave that to your character.
We couldn't bring weapons here, could we?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
I think instinctively, Gulran reaches for like his warhammer when he sees a goblin, and he's like, "What are you doing here?"
I was invited here. I have every
By
right
whom?
to be here. By
Who
my
invited
wonderful
you?
friend Antaeus and business partner.
Business partner?
Yes.
I'm gonna like look at Antaeus like,
Is this something that we've agreed upon, or is he trying to like?
You've
That's the second time
you've
he's
not agreed
mentioned
to
it.
it, but it is the second time he's mentioned it.
I kind of look at him like,
I mean, we've exchanged money.
yes,
I-
there's been an exchange of goods and services.
I wanted to offer my sincerest congratulations to you, oh beautiful mountain. You will make a fine knight.
I'm not becoming a knight.
Definite?
Flattery will get you nowhere. Pesky goblin. Antaeus, a word over here. I'll like pull
Finite as a
Antaeus.
definite? Oh,
I'll pull Antaeus
okay.
to the side, like, out of earshot of the goblin.
The two,
Antaeus, what is the meaning of this? Is this some kind of cruel joke?
No, I just didn't have anybody else to bring, and I didn't really know anybody else, and I thought that it would be a good opportunity for us to meet people.
You know we're responsible for who we bring, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to cover for you again, Antaeus. This goblin causes problems. He's on you.
Have you had the same conversation with other members of our group?
None of them brought goblins here.
Well, that seems a bit racist.
I'm just warning you, Antaeus, that goblin gets in any trouble.
I've spoken to him about this.
All right. I'll like walk back to the group and scowl at the goblin, not really address him at all.
Okay. As they step away, the goblin has a free moment with the three of you. And who are these lovely ladies that you have beside you?
this is Maha, my I guess old boss now, and her wife. I forget, what did you say her
Kate.
name was? Kate. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. And her wife, Kate. Maha, Kate. This is. I don't think I've ever gotten your name.
I am Zigmars. Zigmars
It's
Victors.
Zigmars.
Yes. Maha will extend a hand, and he will take it, and he will lean in and kiss it softly. It is a pleasure to meet you, Maha, and to you as well, Kate. And he releases her hand. Elizabeth has been someone I have helped out in the past, and I've been very glad to be at her aid in her times of need. I would give quite a bit to her if I could. And actually, I should roll for both of them. Maha doesn't seem to notice the double entendre there, but Kate kind of like gives you a soft elbow. You don't really like this one, do you?
I don't dislike him, but I don't want to go with him.
He wants you.
Oh, don't let him hear that.
I was wondering if by chance someone could introduce me to a few people around here. I'm looking to be a lot more helpful to the ministry and to the knights. I often have a good ear about the East Bridge area, and I would be happy to help out where I can, if I can. But I just don't know who the right people are to contact. You know, sometimes knights can be downright mean and not willing to listen. That's why it was refreshing to see someone like Elizabeth helping out you in the ministry. Someone with a nice, firm, and authoritative personality that really wants to see things get done. But at the same time, someone who is soft and easy on the eyes. Kate chuckles a little bit at that comment, but tries to stifle it as best she can. Maha's like, well, I was about to show everyone around. I was hoping that we might perhaps have one more person joining us, but I guess I can point out a few people to you while we're waiting. And then Gulran and Antaeus, you'll kind of make your way back over. And Maha will go about pointing out a handful of people here. Tehran and Brianna, you'll make your way over to what seems to be, I think, the tallest person here. How tall is Antaeus?
That is a good question.
Just want to make sure.
He is, for height and weight, I just put elf.
Okay. So you're not the tallest here. So he is, like, not necessarily towering over everybody, but a lot of the people here are rather short. Or, like, average, sort of an average height. Renier is not only easy to spot, though, because of his height, but he has the most smug and completely unaware of the rest of the world around him kind of look and air about him. He just, like, will grab drinks, and occasionally, like, you'll watch him grab food out of other people's hands, not noticing that he's taking it from somebody else, and he'll just start eating it and go about talking to them about something that is, like, completely uninteresting to them, but probably interesting to him. He is dressed better than anyone else in here is by a significant magnitude. His clothes are obviously decorated with, like, fabrics and silks that are not usual to this region. And he has this kind of weird, kind of silver and gold, like, organized mess of hair. It's clean, it's well put together, but it kind of, like, messes up in a couple little areas that almost look kind of spikish. And as Tehran starts getting close, he leans into you. He looks as smug in real life as he sounds.
Yeah, and did you see what he's been doing with, like, people's food? That's gross.
That's really gross. Especially that one. And he points over to this this one guy who's just, like, literally taking piles of food and shoving them into his mouth and, like, licking his hands clean afterwards.
Is it Moirin?
It is Moirin.
It makes you just wonder about the sanitary conditions of this party.
Well, some people are like that. As long as he's not putting his hands in other people's mouths, I'm sure it's fine. Besides, he's a member of the clergy. I'm sure he's rather blessed and quite clean.
Well, let's hope so.
That's the best I think I can do here. He walks up to Renier, and he, like, kind of is, like, gauging as you're moving through the crowd what direction Renier is moving. And he's, like, you can see he's deliberately moving in such kind of a lateral way through the crowd that he will end up directly in Renier's path. And so the two of you will kind of, like, cause him to trip up a little bit. I'm going to give Renier a chance to... Nope, not at all. And Renier will kind of, like, fall forward almost right over Tehran. And Tehran will kind of move to help pick him up as he starts to go down. Oh, you need to maybe keep an eye better on where it is you're going, good sir. Ranier looks down at him. Huh! I was looking where I was going. I was going where I was intending. Where were you going? You're quite short. Maybe if you would, keep better eye of where the people that are above you are going, you might understand your place in this world. And Tron says, I am very well aware of the places that the people above me are going. I am, in fact, you might say, the most aware of where the people highest above me are going. Perhaps you might have a moment that I could share with you something. Why would I have time for you? I don't have time for this. I have places I must go. I know. And Vicky would be so sad if you weren't there on time, wouldn't she? What? Who? What? What are you talking about? Perhaps you have a moment for me, if you might. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. You know me. You've known me for a while. I've solved a great deal of cases for you and your friends. No one has solved any of my cases. I have solved all my own cases, or the people that I want to. Now stop there. Let's not play this little game. Vicky can wait. And Renier kind of looks around for a moment and leans down. What is your game here, boy? I have no game. I just wanted you to know that what you're doing is never unseen. And anyone who you think you're fooling is simply making a fool of you. Anyway, I was asked to give something to you, so here you are, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the party. And I believe the phrase is, you have just been served. And he turns and walks away.
I'll follow him.
I probably should have informed you that I am always mixing business and pleasure. He stops as you guys are kind of walking away and turns. You can say what you're going to say as he turns.
I was just going to say, well, I mean, I think he probably deserves it. He was rather rude.
You watch as he kind of opens up this envelope and unfolds it. Looks down, then looks around for the two of you, but you're lost kind of in a sea of much taller people. He gets very upset and starts folding up the papers and puts them into his jacket and storms off. That went much better than I expected.
It was like nothing I've ever seen.
It's going to be number 5 for him.
Ooh.
But he's got a few more years. Plenty more for him to find. Besides, maybe Vicky will turn out quite well.
He definitely didn't want you spreading that around.
No, he wouldn't. Otherwise, people might start asking, is that why Vicky's so high up? But I mean, a lot of people already know. It's not
an
news.
Open secret.
Yes. Not supposed to be. He thinks no one knows, but he's never paying attention.
It seems like that he doesn't pay attention to the little people either. I noticed how he had to throw that in there.
It seems to be typical nowadays. I'm kind of disappointed. For a while I thought maybe the whole height thing was finally going to die off, but just never seems to.
It seems like insecure people are always the ones who want to comment on your height or lack of it.
Well,
but
from what I hear, tall people have some really big problems with small things.
Yes, unfortunately. And I'll kind of giggle.
What say we find some more entertainment elsewhere here?
You know, I have this feeling that there's going to be quite a bit whenever my friend Antaeus meets up with my other friend Goron, so...
Well, let's take a short break away from all of this. I think I spy a fun little place to check out, if you have a little bit.
Alright.
And then we can track down your friend.
Sounds good.
Okay. So Maha, shows you around to a few people. She points out Renier, as Renier goes kind of, storming off in a direction. There are a lot of people that she points out, but one as she points them out, a man by the name of Reginald Harvis, will, notice her pointing at him, and he starts making his way over to the 5 of you. Or technically the 6 of you. He moves with with precision, and as he steps, it is if the crowd is always aware of him and always ready to move away from him wherever he walks. There's always a clearing where he is, as if the world kind of moves at his will. And he makes his way up to the 6 of you, and bows as he comes into range.
Bow in return.
I couldn't help but notice you pointing me out. Whom might I have the pleasure of being in the company of? Let's start with you. I don't recognize your face. You are, my lady?
Me?
Yes.
Sorry. Elizabeth, I am being coronated tonight.
Very good. He kind of looks you up and down, but not in that way of a person checking you out, but in the way of somebody who's sizing you up for battle almost.
You're assessing your potential.
Yeah, you see his eyes focus on your shoulders quite a bit, and then they kind of go down to your arms, and then around to your hips and the way you're standing. You look like you'll make a good knight.
Thank you, sir.
And you, skinny one, your name? I'm sure you're not here for coronation.
Is he talking to me?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I keep forgetting, you guys can't see who I'm looking at on the cameras.
Oh, yeah. I was well, it could be me, but it also could be the gnome that's in our party. Oh, hello. My name is Antaeus. I'm not here for coronation. No, I'm here to support her.
How do you know her? How do you know Maha?
Oh, I've worked with Maha in the past, and I was working with her up until recently, up until our promotions.
Excellent. Oh, Maha, is this the group? Are these the? I thought you said it was 4. Wait, the Goblin is part of your crew?
No, the Goblin.
No. He's a guest. Our 4th seems to be missing.
I'm sure she'll turn up, I'd hope. So if he's not part of yours, whom are you? I am Zigmar's Victors. I've done a lot of work assisting you as much as I can. I was introduced to Elizabeth a few weeks ago during a case that she was working on, and it was quite a pleasant thing that I was able to be of such great assistance to her. You got quite a thing, huh? He looks at her. He looks back at the 2 of them. Kind of exchange this odd glance, and then he turns to Gulran. Ah, and a stout cleric. You could almost make a good knight, son.
I'd rather make a
Almost.
great cleric. A cleric's work is not to be scoffed at.
Not at all. It is as good as a knight, if not on occasions better. You
Agreed.
keep the world positive when sometimes there is only dread.
Were you at my sermon the other day?
No, I don't. I don't frequent sermons, but I am a man of the gods, and you've chosen well.
Excellent. You serve Shashat?
I do not serve her. I am a man of all of the gods. I recognize that all of them have their place.
This is true.
Well, it looks like, from what I can see, the three of you are at least a well-rounded bunch. I would like to know where your fourth is.
I would like to know where she is too. This is quite abnormal for her to not be around and on time.
With a 19, it's hard to pick out like a very small person in a crowd like this. If you wanted to use an ability, though, that you have, she does have a rather strong, like, you know, she has a very strong and intense kind of aura that she exudes.
Are there any other people here that I would recognize that are dressed in all black?
No, because they are also relatively short.
Ah, yes, I forgot about that.
One thing to keep in mind is that Tehran is... Ooh, maybe this wasn't in his description. I have this here.
I recall you mentioning he was short.
Yeah, he is shorter than the average human. But not quite like halfling short.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, sure. Do I have to do anything additional to do that, or?
No. That's just part of your ability. With a 19, you'll notice that kind of weaving its way through the crowd, and making its way off to, like, you'll see a door close in the distance, and that aura will kind of disappear from sight.
Oh, that's odd. They have a similar aura. Oh. I'll just kind of just wait here. I'm not gonna call them out at the moment, not in front of this guy.
Zigmar's will pipe up. May I ask, you're the head of the Knights, yes? I am indeed. You said you've done a lot for us. Do you work as a investigator or a private, of the private sorts, or... Zigmar chuckles. No, not quite, not quite. I deal in information, in the East Bridge. There is a lot that goes around, and there's a lot that comes around. And look, if I may, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel a bit uncomfortable and a bit uncertain. And he, Reginald, like, chuckles, or, not really chuckles, but sort of just, like, lets out, like, a soft kind of, breathy, bit of a laugh. And, and he kind of kneels down to the goblin and looks at him and he says, "Listen, I understand that not everyone is an outstanding and upstanding citizen. But we all have our place in this world. We all have things that we do that are important to things happening. If you need help, or you have anything that you wish to share, I would be happy to hear of it. You seem like the kind of person that might need a little bit more questions from time to time. But I trust that when the answers are important to everyone, or at least to the right people, you'll give them." Am I hitting the nail on the head? And for the first time, like, Zigmar, since you've met him, has not really had that kind of goblin appearance, that kind of goblin attitude to him, that kind of, like, afraid of everything bigger than him. He's kind of looked at the bigger world as just being something that he can conquer. But in this moment, Zigmar's has a bit of this, like, look of concern on his face, but he nods almost childlike to Reginald. "Good. You're a good man, and I think you'll do well." And Teus, you're also kind of getting this weird vibe just from him being around that just gives you like a bit of an uneasy feeling. Not anything that makes you like retch or feel sick, just very uneasy. Almost like he can see into who you are. And he stands up, and as he stands up, his imposing figure is kind of like standing almost over you directly, Antaeus. But not really. He stands shorter than you do. But he stands in this way that makes him feel much bigger than he is. I'll have you know the same, Mr. Antaeus. If you ever need anything, you can speak to me, and I will respect your privacy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I don't believe I need to say such things to the rest of you. It is an honor and a privilege that I will get to coronate you into our knights, Miss Elizabeth. I was a bit concerned at first when I saw your name on the list, considering the conditions, but I must say, this is not an unfounded situation.
I'm sorry, the conditions?
You don't know?
Know what?
You remember you filed your knight's application some time ago, right? Seems like forever ago.
Yes.
And it seemed like it was never going to get responded to, I'm sure, to you, with how long as it had been out there.
It was a concern.
Probably part of what led you to instead do the work you did for the ministry, I bet, yes?
Yes.
You don't consider it coincidental that there's a wing being built in your family's name in the dungeons, and you suddenly become coronated?
They didn't.
Your parents, by the way, are over there.
Lovely.
If you'd like to speak to them. But before you do, I can see right now that maybe there's a bit of a temper brewing in you. But I think we can turn that into zeal with the right amount of focus, courage, and understanding. You're going to make a great knight, Elizabeth. I am sure of it.
Thank you, sir.
And Gulrun, keep the faith. Maha, it's been a pleasure. Maha, bows slightly. And Kate, always a pleasure to see you at these kinds of things. And Kate will nod and kind of blush a little bit. And Reginald will take his leave. So, does Elizabeth want to confront her parents or save it for another time?
Probably save it for another time.
Okay. So after a bit more chatting, Tehran and Brianna will kind of make their way eventually to the party.
Quick, Tehran, can you get me some of those foods? Like the ones they're passing around on the tray? I know when I run into Elizabeth, she's gonna be upset if I'm not got food.
He looks at you a bit strangely, but yeah, he'll do a number of tricks to try to grab down a few bits of food from some of the trays, and hands them to you, and he'll keep a few for himself and grab himself another drink.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Oh, if I see him do that, I'm going to point out to why can't I remember Zigmar?
Yes, Zigmar's.
I'll point out to him that he should go talk to him if he is having trouble getting food. If I see that.
Okay. So Zigmar's looks at that and he's like, I can't do that shit. I've got some talent, but that's some life skills there.
Oh, by the way, on my thing, I have a little angel's trumpet flower on there.
Okay.
just in case. It's nice and embroidered, and has the little silver bordering around it as well.
Okay. So Brianna and Tehran will make their way up. Maha will excitedly say, "You did make it."
Oh yes.
I was a little worried. You missed Reginald. I think he would have been very happy to have gotten to meet you.
That's too bad. Maybe I'll see him as I'm circulating. I've just been mingling a little bit.
At this point, Tehran is kind of standing silently, kind of letting, he's taking kind of a step back and let you kind of be in with your friends.
Yeah. Maha, I just wanted to introduce you. I don't know if you've met Tehran.
I have most certainly met Tehran. It is reasonable to see you here. Tehran looks back at her. Likewise, listen, I don't want any hard feelings. You do a good job training these people, and I am so sorry that I have to use them as often as I need to.
Is anything on his outfit? Is everything on his outfit in order and in place? That's what that perception check was for.
Yes. Yeah. Ish. There's a few things, like certain things aren't tucked in quite how they should be.
I don't want to reach down there, but if there's anything that's like untucked that's not around the belt area or something that sticks out.
His top button is definitely undone, and his collar's a little bit off.
I'll just kind of adjust his collar a little bit, and then.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Brianna sort of blushes.
I'd like give you this look like.
Oh yeah, she can
What are you doing?
She can figure it out when it doesn't involve her.
I'm just like, look, Elizabeth, I got food.
Yes, distract the big one with food. Zigmar's kind of walks over to Tehran, and the two of them start discussing some of Tehran's skills at getting up to the tall people plates.
All right.
Yeah, and you guys have some time to discuss. If there's anybody that seems like in particular you might have wanted to meet, I didn't really drop any names, but any specific positions or links that you might want to try to engage with, this would be the time.
I feel like I would at least go up to my parents at some point, but keep it really short and quick and not really talk to them that long. Just be like, Mother, Father, thank you for attending.
We wouldn't miss this for the world, daughter of ours.
I'm sure you wouldn't.
We're very happy for you to have accomplished this all by yourself. It was your work in the ministry that made the knights recognize you. Certainly it has been. Nothing else would have caused it.
Excuse me, I need to go use the restroom.
Fine.
I'm gonna make sure that my what the hell is that thing called? Why am I blanking? My thing is very visible.
Okay.
To anybody that might be interested in talking about certain things.
Okay. Yeah, you can, if you start wandering about a bit, if you kind of detach away and start wandering about a little bit, you will have a number of people who will inadvertently kind of give you the soft elbow to elbow that you're familiar with. In these kind of occasions, yeah, there's a little bit of a lift of the elbow and kind of runs across
or anything like that. Not in these times.
No. And you can turn to greet them or do however it is that you let them know your services and what you might have available. Presumably you'll gesture with your head to a certain location and they'll wander over there to meet you. A much more quiet area of the event.
And does it cost half to make the
yes.
Okay. So I would, in talking about these things, I would let them know that I do offer things at a reduced price. as I'm trying to, I'm trying to make sure that I'm making I'm new to this, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to make, build up good relations and kind of talk to people about those sort of things. And
give me an alchemy check for the evening.
Perfect. There it is. What's my thing do? Am I allowed to? Is that a knowledge roll that I'm allowed to reroll?
I think it's just knowledge rolls. I forget. It might be knowledge and craft.
I don't think craft, unfortunately, has anything to do with it. But
alchemy is a craft.
Well, I mean, for the thing that I was trying to do.
Okay.
Oh, you're looking at it too.
I was just double checking something.
Oh,
I don't see a reroll.
Is it mystery initiative?
No,
yeah, it's mystery initiative.
Yeah. Okay.
That's unfortunate because that's a terrible fucking roll.
That's okay. You don't make a lot of money tonight, but you make a lot of contacts.
That's the more important part.
So you can take 5.5 gold, 5 gold, 5 silver that you'll probably make throughout the night. So not a lot. People are just like looking to sample here. There's a lot of people around, and while it's legal, it's not exactly like smiled upon to do these kinds of things in a public venue like this.
Well, I also don't have much in the ways of on me at the moment either. But if I would have been able to procure business cards of some kind, I would have.
Yeah, you can exchange contact information with people.
Yeah, that's more
what you get is like places that they frequent or places that you frequent, so they can meet you at the times that you would be there.
Sounds good.
Or so you could meet them at the times they would be there.
Sounds good. That's more what I'm interested in.
How about Gulran and Brianna? Taran doesn't really have a lot else that he's really concerned with. He got to do his little bit of cake tonight.
She would want to try and meet
the icing.
She was wanting to maybe meet the knight guy that everyone else met that she didn't get a chance to.
Okay. Taran will actually take you over to see Reginald because he knows Reginald by face. And as you get over there, Maha will actually accompany you as well. So I don't know. In the meantime, what is Gulran doing?
Are there any bigwigs in like the religious community here? Like, is there like a higher cleric than?
Yes. So normally these events are overseen by the High Cleric of Anhur, who is in attendance. He is one of the few people that is dressed in some level of like armor. He's wearing this very like bright breastplate, and he has on these like gauntlets with bracers strapped up the arm length, and he is carrying a rather large sword at his back. I'm sorry, a rather large sword. A rather large sword at his hilt. Yes.
Oh.
And he's got like a helmet on, but the like visor is up. And he is the only person in armor that is not like forced to be like on one of the pedestals, like watching over things. And a lot of people are talking to him here and there. There are quite a number of like women that come up and like shake his hand and like swoon a bit over him, as he is a rather attractive man with long flowing golden hair, these like very broad shoulders, and his arms like look like small like aging saplings, like that. They're getting that thickness, but not quite a full trunk of a tree.
Okay. Yeah, can I make my way over to him? I don't know what's the proper title to address him.
In this case, it's weird because you don't really know what he is. Like, he's dressed in armor, but also you know that he's a cleric. You recognize him, because people have talked about him or pointed him out. But no one's really referred to him by a title. But you would know that his name is... one moment here.
Because I remember you said, like, father is not really what you call...
Yeah. I haven't really worked out good words for priests.
Mm-hmm.
You would know him as Vangelis Constantis.
Your Holiness.
Constantine.
Yeah, can I say Your Holiness? Would that be
Constantine.
weird?
Sorry, Constantines. Thank you. Thank you.
What?
No, thank you. I mean that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I could get like a talk with him, like not privately, but like where no one else is like with him at the moment, or is he like constantly like?
There are
with people?
constantly people coming up to him, but occasionally people will like come up to him and he'll ask people to step away, and they'll like create kind of a area of space around him to have a private conversation.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Okay. Yeah, if you come up and you let him know, he'll ask people, if you'll excuse me for a moment, please. And the people kind of step away. Yes, my child. What do you need?
Your description of him, I'm assuming he's human.
He looks mostly humanoid, or mostly human.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll ask him. I hate to bother you, but by the way, my name is Gulron. Blessings,
Vangelis.
Your Holiness.
You can call me Van.
Van. Okay. I was wondering if you had heard of the recent troubles of the town of this. They're calling it the Fey Madness.
Do you know what happens when people talk about something like this?
Not quite too sure what you mean.
It spreads. Diseases of this type, they spread by fear. It takes on conditions of its own. I'm not saying this is not a disease that exists, don't misunderstand me. But how well during your education, making it to where you are, did you come to understand the concepts of where the gods gain their power?
Does Gulron have good knowledge of this?
What is Gulron's knowledge religion?
Ooh. My base bonus is +6.
Okay. So you would have like the general idea that gods gain their power from the followers that they have. The greater the following, the greater the people that believe in them, the greater the power they can give to the people beneath them. And the more like interventions they can potentially have outside of just what they bestow upon their followers normally.
So, pop quiz. I didn't realize you'd be quizzing me. But yes, I believe the gods get their power from their followers. The more followers a god has, the stronger they can manifest in our plane.
Correct. Belief, I believe, is really the word that we should speak of here. It doesn't simply take someone worshipping them, but even just believing that they are what they are. It's important that we make sure that this is not something that people fear or think is something to be feared, because it will empower it. These diseases of the mind work that way. And I don't mean like the traditional disease of the mind. These sort of magical diseases, they become more infectious as more people believe that they are more infectious, which in and of itself makes it a problem. Have you encountered someone that has had it?
I can't be sure, but there was panic, almost inducing panic, but I gave a sermon to calm the masses on this matter, but...
Oh, you're the boy from Sishat that calmed quite a few people. I had a number of people that came in a few days after your event, and suddenly the worries they had about going crazy were gone. I was preparing something of my own, but I've been quite busy as of late.
Right, it just something was eating at my conscience that perhaps if you knew if this was an actual real threat, I didn't want to keep everyone not worried about something that we should perhaps solved if it was an actual problem, but I've only seen rumors and nothing concrete about it.
There are things that I would love to be able to talk to you about, to tell you about. I'm not going to tell you that this disease is not real, but I'm also not going to tell you that you should worry about it. But if you're looking to end it, the best thing to do is find its source, which does exist. Every one of these, when it exists, every style of this that has happened in years past has always had something that is spreading it, something that's gotten just enough into the town to make people start to lose themselves.
So you've heard of this thing long before the recent troubles, it sounds like.
I've been dealing with a recent increase in fey mischief, you might say. And anywhere there is fey mischief, there are the magical side effects of their mischief.
With your experience, do you know a way to protect yourself or limit your exposure to this?
It is simply
mischief?
about trying to limit your exposure. I assure you that fighting it is a difficult process. The more you encounter fey, the more your mind can start to slip. The more you have to remember the gods, the more you have to take the time to help yourself remember who you are and remain who you are. It is an important battle that you have not only on the field, but also in your home and in your sleep. Remember, war is not simply won with a sword and shield and armor. War is won with valor and pride and dignity and purpose.
Well spoken.
You were as well, from what I've heard.
Ha! I try to be, but I feel my dwarven roots makes me not as charismatic as, well, one as such as yourself.
Well, many do give dwarves a bad break for their attitude, but you usually mean well.
I always mean well, not just usually.
I'll take your word for it, good boy.
Yeah, I think we just, from there, just maybe some small talk about random stuff until he makes like some sort of, well, maybe I have 8 charisma, so maybe I don't get the fact that maybe he probably wants to leave the conversation. I just try to keep like talking to him about random stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you've got kind of a, like, this guy who's kind of a mentor figure. He seems like he's like happy to have heard about you, giving you a little bit of accolades, and now you want to hold on to that. And he's like gradually trying to pull away, and then you keep pulling him into something else.
But that prayer about on her, it was very interesting. I'd like to pick your brain.
Eventually he will break away, but it does take him longer than expected to do so. So let's go ahead and do Brianna and Tehran going to meet Reginald. Tehran will kind of clear his throat as he gets behind Reginald and take a step back. And Reginald will like turn confused. Oh, hello. And you are, young lady?
Oh, I'm Brianna. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, I am Reginald Harvest. I am the, oh crap, what was his title? He is basically the head of the Knights of Knightsbridge, but there's like a title that has like literally jumped out of my brain entirely. It is maybe an honor to meet you. I guess I'm confused. Please forgive me.
Maha's with us, right?
Maha is actually with you, and she will, but she's like a little ways behind, and she'll kind of step forward. Oh, you asked to meet the 4th of their party. This is Brianna. And he'll take your hand and he'll kiss it if you'll allow it.
Yeah.
And then let it go. Let me guess. The musical type, yes?
Oh, yes. I'm a bard.
Yes. A bubbly personality like that is either that, or one of those that makes magic with their joy or anger.
Oh, yes.
How did you come to know them?
Oh, basically we just ate lunch together, and then Maha grouped us together for a case, and so we've kind of, just stayed together since then.
Great things can come from a good meal together.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, from what Maha has said, I can look forward to good things from all of you. I've heard that you were responsible for ruining a bit of, and he looks over top of you, one of Tehran's biggest cases. And Tehran kind of looks up from behind you at him, and kind of like his face his face firms and his brow furrows. It's okay. You did well for us, Tehran. I appreciate the work that you did, even if no one else does.
He was actually very helpful, instrumental, I should say, in us solving the case.
Reginald kind of leans forward and says, yes, I'm sure his instruments were very helpful in solving many a problems. And Tehran, does that, oh my god. I didn't think you'd go there this time, Reginald. I'm surprised you're willing to say this time in front of one of them. Normally, this gets you to quite a bit of discomfort. This one's a little different, I think. This one came back. Well, I suppose that would happen when they beat you. You lost this one. Normally, I'm sure they're not very happy when they find out that you've beat them. Fair point. Anyway, Brianna, if you are able to charm Tehran this much, that he would still be willing to stand behind or beside you after you have bested him at his own game, I am quite certain that you will make a fine addition to your group, and I expect to see great things from you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I hope, we'll be working well together in the future.
I expect that we will. Maha, you've done a wonderful job. I must say, I commend you on this one. Maha, smiles and nods. As always, good to see you both. But I must resume this conversation. This was quite a delightful story, and I want to hear the end of it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And he will turn. And Tehran is kind of standing there as I'm assuming you turn, and give me a sense motive here.
Okay. My perform is usually where I do my sense motive.
Yeah, I'll in this case, actually, I will let you do that.
Okay.
Okay. You start kind of humming just softly as you turn around, a bit of pride in how you're feeling, and Tehran is kind of looking at you, and he seems like a very odd blend of happy discomfort. He's not something about this whole arrangement feels very nervous to him, but at the same time, he doesn't seem like he wants to leave or that he feels embarrassed. He just feels like this is all okay.
Well, I see that you know him too.
I know him quite well. We go back some ways. I remember when he wasn't nearly the man he was. He had the visions that he is now. It's not often you see that in a person. Normally those who have these kinds of visions for themselves don't actually make it as far as he did. He has a number of other visions that I don't know that I would trust. He talks a wild game about a family history and a future and what is to come, talking about one day there will be one of his cousins that will one day arrive, and it will be the heralding of a change in the world. Very weird stuff that he talks about. But much of the rest of what he has talked about has come to pass. So, in some ways, I truly hope that he is wrong.
That's a very unique talent.
Yes. Almost frighteningly unique.
Well, I suppose it's a good thing to have a captain of the knights that can maybe anticipate trouble.
The thing is, that doesn't seem to be how it works. And he kind of rests his hand on the small of your back and kind of like tries to guide you away from Maha, and he glances over to Maha and like with his other hand gives kind of like a soft wave as he kind of moves you away to have this conversation. Do not misunderstand me. He is a great leader, but his foresight does not reach into that realm. There have been major catastrophic events, major historical events that he has spoken of coming to pass, and they have. His coronation as a knight, he knew years before it would happen, to the day that he would be coronated. He knew when he would become the knight captain, to the week, surprisingly not the day. And he also knew when a number of great tragedies would befall this place. And he talks about his family story being a big part of it.
Wow, that's very intense.
Frighteningly so. If he ever tells you that something's going to happen in the future, take it as law.
I'll be sure to do that.
You doing okay? I know this can be a lot.
I mean, we live in a world where there's magic everywhere. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think that someone could have an ability like that.
I don't think so either, but it always... I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I don't always feel the most comfortable around magic, and especially not magic like that. I often feel like destiny should be one's own thing, and the idea that perhaps it's all written and it can all be known makes me feel a little sad. Makes me feel like, what if choice doesn't matter, it's just an illusion? What if the feelings we have aren't really feelings we get to have, but feelings that we're just... I'm sorry. This is a little much for this kind of thing.
Don't apologize. You know, I think that it's good to ponder these sorts of things.
Perhaps. And with that, let's take a short pause. My butt is starting to hurt.
All right. I'll be back in a minute.
Yep.